In the heart of a bustling Yoruba city, where the scent of shea butter mingled with the aroma of roasting plantains and the call to prayer echoed from minarets, lived Simbiat, a woman whose gentle spirit was as radiant as the finest indigo cloth. She was an Alhaja, her pilgrimage to Mecca a testament to her deep faith, and her heart overflowed with kindness. 5 years had passed since her marriage to Alhaji Hakim, a man whose generosity was as vast as his thriving distribution business. Their grand house, a testament to his success, stood proudly amidst fragrant frangipani trees. Yet, for all their blessings, a shadow lingered. Simbiat had no child. The whispers, faint at first, then growing bolder, spoke of barrenness, a cruel fate in a society where a woman's worth was often measured by the quiver of her offspring. Hakim, a man of quiet strength and unwavering devotion, always met her anxieties with a comforting hand and a reassuring smile. "Patience, my dear Simbiat," he would say, his voice a balm to her troubled soul. "Allah's timing is perfect. Do not let the idle tongues of others trouble your spirit." Their household was a microcosm of their world. In the servant quarters, nestled beside the main house, lived Beo, Hakim's trusted driver, his wife, and their daughter, Amora. Amora was one of a set of twins. Her brother, Sigan, a boy known for his mischievous spirit and quick wit, lived with their grandmother in a nearby village, a place where the ancient way still held sway. Beo and Hakim were inseparable on their business journeys, their bond forged in shared travels across dusty plains and bustling marketplaces. The dry season had stretched long, painting the landscape in hues of ochre and rust, when Hakim embarked on a particularly arduous 3-month journey. Simbiat, though lonely in his absence, filled her days with prayer, charitable acts, and the quiet rhythm of domestic life. She found solace in Amora's company, often sending the diligent young girl on errands to the market, her small, quick feet a familiar sight. When Hakim finally returned, his robust laughter echoing through the house, he found Simbiat not waiting with her usual eager embrace, but lying weak and pale. Her eyes, usually so bright, were clouded with a fever. The village doctor, a man whose wisdom was as respected as his medical remedies, was quickly summoned. He examined Simbiat with a knowing gaze, his brow furrowing slightly before a smile slowly spread across his face. "Alhaji Hakim," he announced, his voice filled with quiet wonder, "your wife is 2 months pregnant." A gasp escaped Simbiat's lips, a mix of disbelief and overwhelming joy. Hakim, for a moment, was speechless, his face a canvas of conflicting emotions. Joy, yes, but also a flicker of something else, something akin to bewilderment. He had been away for 3 months. How could this be? Simbiat, ever devout, never left the house unless absolutely necessary, and then, always accompanied. Religious strictures were deeply ingrained in her life. The only male who had set foot in their home during Hakim's absence was Pastor Ezekiel, Hakim's stepbrother. A man of the cloth, Pastor Ezekiel was a fervent Pentecostal preacher, his sermons filled with fire and brimstone, a stark contrast to the quiet solemnity of Islamic prayer. He had stayed overnight only once, to catch an early morning flight for a mission trip, his presence a fleeting, almost imperceptible shadow in their grand home. Suspicion, like a venomous serpent, began to coil around Hakim's heart. His beloved Simbiat, the paragon of virtue, pregnant while he was away. And the only male visitor, the thought was unbearable. The whisperings of barrenness had faded, replaced by a more insidious rumor, infidelity. He remembered the pastor's earnest prayers for Simbiat's fertility, his booming amen echoing in the quiet house. Could it be a veiled sin, hidden beneath a cloak of piety? Simbiat, witnessing the shift in her husband's demeanor, felt a cold dread grip her. The joy of her pregnancy was quickly overshadowed by the chilling realization that her husband suspected her of a grave betrayal. Tears streamed down her face as she pleaded her innocence, her voice hoarse with despair. But the seeds of doubt, once sown, were difficult to uproot. Hakim, a man who valued honor above all else, felt his world crumbling. The thought of his brother, a man of God, betraying his trust, dishonoring his home, ignited a furious blaze within him. He paced the opulent rooms, his mind racing, envisioning confrontations, vengeful actions. The whispers in the compound had grown louder, now fueled by the stunning news of Simbiat's pregnancy and Hakim's prolonged absence. The weight of societal judgment pressed down on him, demanding an explanation, a resolution. Just as Hakim's righteous anger was about to boil over, ready to confront Pastor Ezekiel and forever sever the ties of brotherhood, a sudden commotion erupted from the servant quarters. Beo, the driver, his face etched with a mix of fear and urgency, rushed into the main house. Alhaji. Alhaja, he cried, his voice trembling. There is something I must confess. It is about my son, Sigan. Hakim, his fury momentarily suspended, turned to Beo, his eyes narrowed in a silent demand for explanation. Beo, his gaze fixed on the ground, began to speak, his words tumbling out in a rush of desperate relief. My son, Sigan, he came to stay with his sister, Amora, a few weeks ago, Beo confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. He is a rascal, Alhaji, always up to mischief. He knew Amora was often sent on errands for Alhaja, and he pretended to be her. He would wear her wrapper, cover his head with her veil, and go out in her stead, especially when Amora was unwell. Simbiat, listening with growing disbelief, suddenly remembered. There had been days when Amora had complained of a fever, and yet, her errands for Simbiat had still been completed. She also remembered the sleeping pills the doctor had prescribed for her anxiety. In her drowsiness, she hadn't paid close attention to the figure that flitted in and out of the house, delivering market goods or messages. Hakim, his mind grappling with this startling revelation, felt a flicker of hope amidst the storm of his emotions. Could it be true? The notion of a mischievous boy, a twin, impersonating his sister, seemed almost too fantastical to be believed, yet it offered a lifeline, a glimmer of truth that could save his family from ruin. The next day, a Babalawo, a traditional Yoruba priest whose wisdom and knowledge of ancient ways were legendary, was summoned. He arrived adorned in cowrie shells and vibrant fabrics, his eyes holding the weight of generations of ancestral wisdom. The atmosphere in Hakim's compound crackled with tension as the Babalawo began his divinations, casting kola nuts, chanting ancient incantations, and consulting with the spirits of the land. Sigan, looking small and defiant, was brought before the Babalawo. The air was thick with the scent of burning herbs and the murmur of prayers. Under the Babalawo's piercing gaze and the rhythmic chanting, a powerful force of tradition and ancestral wisdom pressed down on the boy. The rascally facade began to crumble. Finally, with a sob, Sigan confessed. He admitted to slipping into the house, disguised as Amora, whenever Simbiat was feeling poorly and had taken her sleeping pills. He had helped with errands, yes, but he had also, in his youthful mischief, stumbled into Simbiat's room when she was asleep and, driven by a perverse curiosity, had touched her. He didn't fully understand the implications, only that he had been there, in the room, when no other male should have been. The confession hung in the air, a shocking, yet ultimately liberating truth. The pieces clicked into place for Hakim. The timing of Simbiat's pregnancy, the sleeping pills, the presence of Sigan, the mischievous twin, and his impersonation of Amora. The thought that had plagued him, the dishonor, the betrayal by his brother, dissipated like smoke. The intricate dance of tradition and modern life, the whispers of the Alhaja's barrenness, the fear of infidelity, and the clash of religious beliefs had all converged, almost leading to a tragic misunderstanding. A profound sigh of relief swept through the compound. Simbiat, tears of gratitude streaming down her face, embraced her husband. Hakim, his heart lightened by the truth, looked at his wife with renewed love and respect. The Babalawo, with a solemn nod, concluded his ritual, his pronouncement reaffirming the sanctity of truth and the power of ancient wisdom to unravel modern mysteries. The whispers in the compound, once malicious, now turned to murmurs of wonder and relief. The community, swayed by the Babalawo's pronouncement and Sigan's confession, understood the extraordinary circumstances. Pastor Ezekiel, who had remained oblivious to the turmoil he had inadvertently caused, was never confronted, his reputation and their familial bond preserved. As Simbiat's belly grew, so too did the joy in their home. The incident became a tale whispered in hushed tones, a testament to the intricate tapestry of life in their vibrant city, where the spiritual world intertwined with the mundane, where ancient traditions offered solace in the face of modern dilemmas, and where the truth, no matter how unbelievable, always found a way to surface. The birth of their healthy son, a beacon of hope and a symbol of resilience, cemented Simbiat's place in the community. The Alhaja, once silently burdened by whispers, now bathed in the warmth of motherhood, her heart overflowing with gratitude. And the story of the rascally twin, the sleeping pills, and the averted familial strife became a cautionary tale, a testament to the fact that appearances can deceive, and that sometimes, the most unexpected truths lie hidden in the most innocent of mischief. The magic of Africa's storytelling heritage, with its rich blend of tradition, magic, and human drama, had once again woven a narrative that would resonate for generations, reminding all who heard it of the timeless battle between good and evil, and the enduring power of bravery and resilience in the face of life's unexpected turns.